As you know, this is a segment we have here on this show where we talk to you about anything fuel, anything petroleum, anything that you need to know, help you to understand the situation, why you have to pay more at the pumps, and whether or not you can pay less. So that is the way we're going to have this conversation today. Is there any way at all to work around this, looking at the figures? Today, Alfred Addo-Yobo from the Association of Oil Marketing Companies is joining us on that segment, fuel prices increase. So, you just had the conversation I had. You're welcome, by the way, Alfred. The conversation I've just had with the OMC, with COPEC, and then also with my colleague in Parliament. Yeah. Let's bring that conversation to what can be done at the pumps. Can anything change at all? The minority is arguing that on the world market, the prices haven't changed, and so it shouldn't change. But COPEC is telling us that you, the OMCs, are saying by next week, we probably will be paying much more than we're paying now, which is what we're even complaining about. How? Thank you.
You see, the fuel business, that's the petrol diesel business, LPG. OMCs do not just get up and price. Say you go and buy the fuel for 3 cedis and you add your margin to it. No. There's a price build-up. So there's a price build-up. We have the ex-refinery price. That's the price at which OMCs buy fuel from the BDCs. We have taxes and levies, and then we have OMC margin and dealers margin. Now, taxes are constant. They rarely change unless Ministry of Finance wants to do something. Now, what really changes is the ex-refinery price. That's how much we bought the fuel from the BDCs. Okay. Now, I heard something about the prices on the market haven't really changed. They have changed.
They have changed?
Briefly, I mean slightly.
So COPEC says for the past 3 weeks, it hasn't changed. In Parliament, we didn't get a duration, but COPEC says the past 3 weeks. What's your story?
We work on window basis. Okay. So every window is 2 weeks. So the window began 1st December and it's going to end 15th December. And then another window starts on the 16th to 31st. Okay. It's changed briefly. I mean slightly. Slightly. Sorry. And so now.
How much are we looking at here? Percentage-wise, figure-wise?
Let me take you back a little bit. Because the price of fuel that we saw last week, 5 cedi 36, was not supposed to be sold at that. And that's where everybody seems to be thinking that, oh, there's been a jump.
So as of last week, we were paying less than we should actually be paying.
So, I mean, OMCs are being overly charitable, overly empathetic. You know, let me cite an analogy. Okay. Maybe you would get it really clearly. Me. You are paid 20,000 Ghana cedis a month, right?
I'm not paid 20,000.
I'm just citing an analogy.
Okay, that's fine.
Just so that nobody comes to ask you for...
But 20,000 is certainly a good salary to take home.
Exactly. Now, let's say that this month, your boss comes to you and says that, Gifty, our revenue streams are not really that good. So, I think I can pay you 5,000. Okay. Well, you understand your boss because he's a nice guy. So you take the paycheck of 5,000, you take it home, and let's say your mom or your dad says, oh, what's happening, 5,000? Okay, anyway, that's okay. January, things improve a little bit. Okay. And then your boss gives you your paycheck, and it's 6,000. Has there been an increase in your salary? Your salary?
No.
Why?
Well, there hasn't been an increase because if I was being paid 20,000 and you move me to 6,000, that's not an increase.
Exactly. That's what is happening. Because look, when we impose the ex-refinery price of, let's say, 3 cedis, that's how much we bought the fuel, and we input our margins. Now, our margins, ideally, what every OMC is supposed to put in there so that they can survive, not to make money, but, you know, we pay a lot of fees. Regulatory fees, we pay our taxes. I mean, taxes are on the other side. Okay. From our margins, we pay our workers, we pay regulatory fees and all that. It's a huge burden. Now, they are supposed to put in 65 pesos. Now, if they did that last window, petrol should have been 5 cedis 47 pesos. Diesel should have been 5 cedis 71 pesos. Okay. Now, just look at this. We put up the station, everything, And we are supposed to make 65 pesos from selling a liter.
Oh, that's a lot of money if you accumulate it.
Yeah, but there's a lot of competition, so you don't really sell as much as you do now. Formerly, let's say 2015, 16, thereabout, every retail outlet used to sell about 150,000 liters a month. Now it's hovering around 50,000. So a third of it, like you are now selling more like a third of what you used to sell. So if OMCs are pricing fuel at 5.36 pesos, it means that they cut that margin, which they were supposed to input of 65 pesos, to about 30 something. Now, this 65 pesos is supposed to be shared by OMCs and retailers or dealers, right? So the price of fuel, which everybody last week seemed to be saying that, oh, it was low and then now it's high, wasn't supposed to be 5.36 pesos. So in as much as there's a supposed increase, really,
it hasn't yet reflected.
It hasn't reflected.
So by next week we should be expecting to pay more?
Well, I don't run an OMC.
Oh, hopefully not.
I don't run an OMC. But really, if they are supposed to do good, because look, OMCs are in business, government gets the taxes. If many OMCs fold up, government doesn't make any taxes because we are there to collect the taxes for the government. Okay. You know, so price of fuel are hovering around 5.41.
Pesos, yes.
A lot of people are saying it's high, there's been an increase. Yeah, it's a supposed increase.
Now, I mean, as far as we are concerned, we consumers are concerned, it is high because that's not how much we were paying before.
Exactly.
Now, what we're trying to do here is to get people to understand where the OMCs are coming from, where we have to pay more.
Yeah.
So it gives us an understanding where the extra charge is coming from and who is going to.
Yeah.
So from what you're describing, it's not coming to you, the OMCs, am I right?
No.
It's going to who? Government? Or other, I mean, you said there's a price build-up.
Yeah,
you have to pay your staff, you have to put in, maintenance from your margin. So you're saying that when we have to pay the extra, who is it going to? The extra that we pay on the fuel that we buy. Oh. Who is mostly at the receiving end? You
see, anytime you seem to pay extra, you're just trying to make the OMC survive. Really, because look, if people are making all sorts of noise up and down, and OMC say that, okay, from now onwards, we are going to reduce the prices of fuel to 5 cedis. Let's say tomorrow we wake up in the morning and then they're like, okay.
It will break down your businesses, you say?
We will collapse. Okay. Not even the big guys, Total, Vivo, Goil will survive because it's a competitive market. Okay. And it really, OMCs are supposed to be pricing very well now. Diesel is supposed to be 5.71 and petrol 5.47. So
by next week, from all indications and from all the conversations I've had right now, by next week we should be expecting to pay a bit more. That's highly dependent on the OMC. Every organization is independent. Goil is independent, Total is independent, the other OMCs are independent. So but from your analysis and from your perspective, surely there will be an increase by next week. It will only be fair. It will only be fair? Yeah. Okay. What do you want listeners, viewers to take away from this conversation we've just had, briefly? Well, I think that OMCs are running NGOs now. Really? We are really running NGOs. We are being overly empathetic with the public. We understand that things are hard. You know, wages have not really been increased much around, you know, and people are complaining about 5 pesos increase. But that's the under recoveries. Let me tell you something. Last window, that's 16th to 30th November, OMCs subsidized fuel to the tune of about 50-something million Ghana cedis so that consumers can be able to buy. So to the consumer, I mean, if fuel prices increase, it's not because OMCs want to make a lot of money or because we want to punish the ordinary consumer, because we want to make our businesses grow and build up so many other fuel outlets, but then really, we want to merely survive. So they should bear with us. And if there's anything that we can do, as in any time during the window when prices fall, we are definitely going to go down. And we always do that. All right, Fred Addo-Yobo there with the OMCs. He came to educate us on what we need to know as far as fuel prices are concerned. Well, I don't know. I'm just a bearer of bad news, but it looks to me from all the conversations that I've had that we'll still continue to pay more. Hopefully not. Thank you very much for coming, Alfred.
Thank you.
He says that if we don't pay as much, probably the companies will have to wrap up. That won't be a good story as well.